Hey friends, welcome back to the channel for another video today. I wanted to go back to basics today. There are a lot of new people here, not just here on my channel, but in general in the GLP-1 community. There's a lot of newbies. I think that is just natural with it being the new year and people getting ready to start their own health journeys. And so I wanted to kind of chat with you guys about, like I said, going back to basics, what GLP-1s are, what they help with, how to go about starting them, what are the things you should definitely do when starting your GLP-1 journey, all of that. And if you are somebody that has been on a GLP-1 journey for a while now and you've got your own tips and tricks, definitely leave them down below in the comments. Ask any questions that you may have as well. That is always an open space to chat and talk to each other and get and bounce ideas off of one another. But I have made a list of the things that I feel like are prudent to talk about, okay? So if you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany. I've been on a GLP-1 journey for over 2 years now, since November of 2022. I have lost over 90 pounds and I've shared that entire journey here on YouTube from the literal first injection. So you can go back to the very beginning and sort of see my transformation over the course of 2 years. Which I think is pretty awesome. I'm so glad that I documented that, not only for you guys, but for me as well. So would love to have you stick around and subscribe if you are new here, and also join our free encouragement Facebook group, which is linked down below. You can get more sort of one-on-one communication, not only with me, but with a lot of other subscribers and friends that we've made along the way, and we have a good time over there. So that is completely free, and the link to that is always in the description box. So starting out, what is a GLP-1, right? I feel like most of us know this by now, but there are still, newer people might not. So we're gonna briefly explain it. So essentially, GLP-1s like MOUNJARO, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, they're all sort of in this class together of being GLP-1 medications. Now, GLP-1s mimic the naturally occurring GLP-1 hormone in your body, and that is responsible for appetite suppression, for digestion, for sugar regulation in your body. There's even the GIP hormone, which is also a component in MOUNJARO, Zepbound, tirzepatide, can help you with things like food noise and cravings in your brain and all different things. So essentially what we're doing here is replacing a hormone in our body that when it is made naturally, it actually depletes rather quickly. And essentially what is thought to be true is that there are a lot of us whose bodies are not naturally producing enough of this hormone to keep up with our food noise and our appetite and our cravings and our sugar regulation and all of that. Whereas you have another set of people who are not hormonally deficient in a GLP-1. And those are the people that do not struggle in this way. They don't have food noise and all of that stuff. So that is what a GLP-1 is. And it can help you by turning off cravings and slowing down your digestion so that you stay full longer and regulating your blood sugars and all of that, leading to weight loss. Now, food noise. I've gotten a lot of questions about from newer people about what food noise is and what that feeling is. So I'm going to explain it in pretty much the only way I know how, and that's how it affected me. So food noise for me personally was the constant obsession of food, to put it lightly. The constant thought process of, what am I gonna eat at my next meal? Even if I haven't even eaten lunch yet, I'm already thinking about dinner, right? So what are we having for lunch? What are we having for dinner? Can I fit a snack in today? Am I gonna feel guilty if I fit a snack in today? Do I really need a snack? Would I be okay skipping the snack even though I've eaten so low of calories? Just the constant thought process of food and where your next meal is coming from, what you're gonna be having. And then also associated with that is the guilt of, okay, well, I ate McDonald's for lunch and so I'm gonna be fat forever. Essentially the constant obsession over food. Now, the biggest sort of revelation for me in my GLP-1 journey was that quote unquote normal people don't have that. And I think Oprah is the first person that sort of brought it to my attention in her special she did well over a year ago at this point, but she mentioned that one of the turning points for herself was realizing that while she was sitting there focused on her food on her plate and trying hard not to eat it all because she didn't want to look fat and wondering if people were going to judge her and all of that, what she realized eventually through the use of GLP-1s is that the other people at the table weren't worried about that. And she always wondered, and I myself too, like, why does nobody else seem to be focused on this? Or why does this not seem to bother everybody else? Because they don't have that problem. So not everybody has food noise. And so when you try to explain it to somebody who doesn't have food noise, that's when you get into the people that are like, just eat less, just move your body, just, you know, you're weak, you lack willpower, and that's why you're not able to lose weight. That's the responses that you start to get from people who just don't know what we're talking about. And so when I get comments like that, I'm always like, okay, I should extend some grace to this person because this person does not know what it is like for us. And so the shift with GLP-1s that is happening is that a lot of people, as more research is done, especially doctors who had that view, like eat less, move more, be stronger in your willpower, doctors that had that viewpoint are now like flipping the coin and saying, oh, maybe we haven't been right all of this time, right? Maybe, you know, the answer isn't as easy as eating less and moving your body more, like we've been telling people it is for the last 50 plus years, right? So that's what food noise is to me. And I think that there is this sort of cultural shift happening in stereotypical weight loss advice, where you're going to see more people speaking about food noise and sharing their experiences with it and really getting into the mental game of what is GLP-1 and what is weight loss and what is obesity, versus just the putting less food in your stomach mentality. You know what I'm saying? So if you are somebody who obviously is wanting to start a GLP-1 and you don't know where to start, I have a few tips for you. And these are the ones that I feel like are like the most basic. Do these things and try not to worry about all of the other stuff that everybody tells you you need to do, right? So obviously the first thing is to choose your route. So are you going to use a telehealth company? Are you going to go to your primary doctor? How are you going to obtain this medication? Is your insurance going to cover the name brand medication? So these are all things that you need to be thinking about. For me personally, I would recommend that your first step be to go to your healthcare provider and speak to them about your problems and your issues. And one thing that I did when I went to my doctor the first time is that I said to him, I feel like I'm like this doom. Like I'm never going to be able to lose this weight. I cannot do it myself. I've tried so many times and there's just something that is making it so I can't. And when I said that to him, it kind of like clicked on in his brain what I was really saying versus just like eating less or whatever. So I would recommend going in with the attitude of, I've tried, and explaining to your doctor, I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried that. I've tried everything for years and years, and I've not been able to lose weight, because I do think that there is a set demographic that this medication works best for, and that is the type of person who just cannot turn their brain off about food no matter what they do. So talking to your doctor is obviously the first step. Like you have to do that in order to get an idea. The next thing I would recommend is to actually get a blood panel drawn. So that is something that I did. A lot of you guys know, if you've been following me, that I actually have my blood drawn every 3 to 4 months to see kind of where I'm at. I do have a sister that had some thyroid. I have a sister that had a thyroid tumor that was removed, but it was not the type that the medullary thyroid tumor or whatever. It wasn't that type. So just monitoring all my levels is just important. And so we do that. But getting the baseline of your cholesterol and of your CBC, all of the things, is helpful, because then you can see where you go as you go along on your journey. Do I think that you need to have your blood drawn every 3 to 4 months? That can get expensive. Not gonna lie, my insurance does not always cover it, but it's something that we do because of that thyroid history. Sometimes I only get the thyroid panel drawn. It just really depends. But I do think that having a baseline, and then, you know, when you go for your physical the next year, you'll have another baseline to look at and compare. I think that's really a good tool to have, not only for you, but for your doctor to have as well, so that he can monitor how your treatment is going. The next thing that you need to do is, when you're looking at choosing a doctor, maybe I should have said this first, I would highly recommend choosing one that is going to be willing to completely go in with you and follow you on your journey. There's a lot of telehealth companies. I'm not going to name names. I'm not trying to shade anybody. I would say that most of the telehealth companies do not follow a patient in the way that is necessary. So I do go through Orderly Meds, as you guys know, to get my tirzepatide. I think that they are amazing. They have some of the best prices. They're awesome. But I've never stopped communicating with my doctor and checking in with my doctor, because he's the one that knows me best. He's been seeing me for years. So I would recommend, even if you do end up going through a telehealth company to get a compounded version of the medication, I do recommend sticking with somebody who knows you, a doctor, a nurse practitioner, whatever, that knows you and knows your body and knows your health history, so that they can monitor everything correctly. I love telehealth companies, but are they able to efficiently monitor every single patient? I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced about that, but that's why it's important, you know, multi-levels of care. If you're sourcing it out of here, help yourself by keeping up with your normal provider. The next thing that I would recommend absolutely is to familiarize yourself with side effects. So whether you choose Wegovy or Zepbound or the compounded versions of one or the other, familiarize yourself with the possible side effects, because there are a lot, and there are different ones for different GLP1s. Wegovy has some that are more prevalent. Zepbound has some more that are more prevalent. And so knowing what to expect and not going into it blindly. I think a lot of people will just, you know, I want to lose weight, so I get this shot and I'm going to inject myself, and that's that. And then they end up with side effects that aren't necessarily like horrible, but they think they are, right? So I'll see a lot of posts in different groups or on Reddit talking about this awful side effect, and it seems to be the same few things every single time. Whereas if you were to prepare yourself and familiarize yourself, watch people's videos, because there are so many amazing content creators on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram that share their journeys and share their side effects. And the best way to get an idea of what to expect, in my opinion, is to watch personal experiences. So I highly recommend familiarizing yourself and preparing. So what I mean by preparing is, for constipation, have some stuff ready. Some people love magnesium. Some people, I personally love Colace. Some people just add Benefiber or Miralax or whatever, but they start, or you should start, before your first shot. So Colace, I would say like 2 weeks before you even do a shot, start taking a Colace every day, because constipation on GLP-1s is real. And if you can get ahead of that, you definitely want to. Same thing with nausea. There are several different things, you know, just like ginger chews or gummies or like the bands, so many things that you could do. But being aware and being prepared are definitely beneficial to your entire journey. The next thing that you would need to do is to choose a shot day. So typically those are weekly, but there's a whole lot of data. Like some people split their shot up twice a week, whatever. Typically, if you're just starting out, you're gonna choose a 1 day per week that you do your shot. My day is Thursday. It's different for everybody. Just choose a day and stick with that day so that you can get the maximum benefit and minimize all side effects. And then 2 more things that I would really recommend. The first one is starting a journal. So I think that this is so beneficial for your own personal journey to have a journal. Write down your shot day, how you're feeling after your shot day, write down side effects that you've been having, write down food aversions that you've had, because that is also a real thing. If you suddenly notice you can't stomach broccoli, write that down so that you'll be able to go back and look and say, okay, it's been a trend now that the last 3 times I've eaten broccoli, my stomach has hurt. So maybe I don't need to eat that for a while or whatever. Keeping a journal is so important and is something that I honestly wish that I had done earlier in my journey. I do it now, but I did not do it in the beginning, and it would have helped me avoid a lot of stuff that caused me a lot of problems. So yeah, keep a journal and also take pictures. That's kind of a good thing to do in any weight loss journey, but take a picture of yourself in the beginning, print that picture out and paste it on your mirror in your bathroom or on your refrigerator or somewhere so that you can look as you go along at that person and remember how that person was feeling and that, you know, all of the things to helpfully motivate you. Like putting a picture up is absolutely amazing. I have been looking back at pictures of myself recently from the beginning, mostly actually because I've been getting a lot of comments lately that my face looks so different. What do you think? Do I look different? But people have been saying it lately in my comment section. So the other day was scrolling back like to the very beginning, and I cannot believe the change that my body has gone through in the past 2 years. Just looking back on myself now, I never saw myself that way when I was that heavy. I mean, you know, like I said, I've lost 90 pounds, but I just never saw myself that big. And now looking back on it, I'm like, dude, girl, so happy that I have made this change in my life and it's a permanent change. So take pictures, look back on pictures often, keep a journal. So important. And the final thing that I would recommend is to surround yourself with like-minded people. There are a lot of us who do not share our journey publicly, meaning out in the real world with our friends and our family. My family knows that I'm on a GLP-1 and my best friend knows. And that's it, because I don't want the comments. I mean, because there are still so many people out there that have the attitude of you just eat less and move your body more or whatever. And so you're going to get a lot of backlash from people. And I think that's going to be the case for a while until it's really more widespread knowledge what obesity as a disease really is and how GLP-1s can help fix it or help treat it, because it's not curable, but help treat it. So what I would recommend doing is joining Facebook groups, following some content creators that are like-minded to you, joining Reddit subreddits or whatever, because there are a lot of people on the internet who are very open about their journeys in that space. My Facebook group is private, meaning you can only find it through the link in these videos, meaning the people that you or the things that you post will not show up anywhere else on Facebook, meaning you're on your thread or whatever, on somebody else, your friend's thread that you posted this in a group. My group is completely private for that reason, because I know a lot of people don't share that journey with everybody. So having the safe space to talk and communicate and speak to each other about things that are going on is so vital. Otherwise, you could feel alone in this if you don't share publicly with other people, because there's just so many people who aren't going to understand what you're going through. So surrounding yourself with like-minded people can be so beneficial to your overall journey, but your overall mental health during the journey. So those are my tips that I have for you guys today. I would love it if you have any other tips to leave them down below. If you have any questions, leave it down below. I would love to answer them. I get back to comments as quickly as I can. I try to pride myself in answering most comments. Every once in a while, a couple slip through, but I try to be really on top of that. So definitely leave any questions down below. You also could email me. My email is always in the description box. Or the best way to get a hold of me lately has actually been through Facebook Messenger. There's a couple of you who have messaged me like from the Facebook group onto Facebook Messenger, and I see those a lot easier because Facebook will yell at me. If I haven't looked at it, it'll say so-and-so is awaiting a response. And so that kickstarts my brain to go look at it. So that's actually a really good way to get in touch with me if you want to do so. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Any other discussion on this topic that you have, please leave below. Let's kind of chat and communicate with each other. I will see you guys on Monday. We're gonna do my week 3 Wegovy update and talk about how that is all going and all of the things. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have the best weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.